Hey guys, before we start this episode of Coffee with My Ex, we wanted to tell you that we have memberships now on our YouTube channel. That is a way that you can support us and what we do. We have different membership options for you to choose from, and we are so thankful for you to be a part of this journey with us.
Cute.
I can do that again. More emotion.
No, that's perfect.
I'm Caleb.
I'm Haley.
And I'm having Coffee with My Ex. Oh, we never did the theme song.
Maybe for season 2.
I came up with a little theme song jingle about, 16 episodes ago. And we just never got around. Because then the pandemic happened. And
we had nothing else to do but to record a song. So that doesn't do anything.
All right. Haley told me that I can't drink water today because it's distracting the viewers.
I'm not saying the viewers. I'm saying me.
Oh, okay.
I don't like it.
Okay. Well, I'm finding my notes here. Haley and I have planned out the next, 3 episodes? 4 episodes?
No. Yeah, 4 episodes, and then we have, 4 more episode ideas, which this never happens.
Never happens.
It's never that, this is episode 23? And this has never happened. 23
episodes of us just talking for an hour.
Not planning anything out, really. There's maybe 2 or 3 episodes that we planned out.
Some of our best ones are the ones that are most chaotic.
I know, but I think it just for our soul is better to just try a little bit.
Yeah. It does feel good to try.
It does feel good to try.
It's like a kid's episode. And the moral of the story is just give a fuck.
Oh my goodness.
I'm trying to find the note that you sent me with all of the things in it.
Well, you don't ever respond to my text messages.
I don't. Haley and I actually just had a fight about this morning because she claims I don't respond to texts.
Caleb.
I don't want you to do that.
Caleb.
Don't get it out.
No, it's really bad. Look how much you respond.
But also, there are things
bad.
I send you that you don't respond to.
That's not true. That's really
true.
no, Caleb, because you haven't said anything to me.
But I also have so many. But I have the Instagram DMs and the Snapchat.
I am your best friend and your business partner. So I think that I trump everyone in that case.
You trump everyone?
Yeah, I do.
Ew. Trump.
You're so fucking stupid. You're stupid. You know what? I don't want to talk to you. I take it back.
I sometimes get into a point where I just don't go into any messages because I am so overwhelmed with responding to just one person. Because if I respond to one, I should probably respond to the other ones.
Oh, sorry that we are not worth any of your time.
It's just so overwhelming when you have so many people talking to you all at once.
Okay, you know what?
And I filter who I respond to based on how many check marks they have by their name.
I believe it. I believe that.
No, there's actually a girl from Bollywood. She's a Bollywood movie star. And she reached out to me and wants to do a collab. And she wanted to do a split screen dance. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, that sounds cool, but it's overwhelming because I'm I don't know any of these songs and how do we do it? And so I've been avoiding her for weeks and I feel so bad. Because she's a big deal. And I'm just too overwhelmed to think about it. Anyway, Let's move on. That's not what this episode's about. I have therapy on Wednesday.
Oh, God.
So.
I'm just tired right now.
You're tired?
Yeah, I'm tired.
You know what? It is exhausting. Having to suck in all the energy from the world and people around you. I bet you are tired. It's even harder when that energy comes from people who are toxic.
Caleb, the leeway is not
That wasn't a good transition. But I tried. I was grasping.
So today, we're going to talk about friendships and also toxic friends. Actually, no, it actually sucks.
Maybe we're toxic friends.
But I want to talk about actual friendships first.
Okay.
Let's say something nice about friendship. What? I have no idea.
I just also feel like the town that we came from, we were taught that you interact with people and you're kind to them based on how mean you are to them. It's if you really like them, then you're just mean to your friends.
Oh my God, yeah.
So it's really hard for us to give compliments. That's why we don't hug. Well, we don't hug because Haley has her own trauma, but
There's certain people I can't hug. I can hug people.
You can't hug me.
I can't hug you. I can't hug you. I don't know why. It's not right. You know it's not right.
It's not.
It's not right.
I don't know why.
Like, I'm thinking about it, it's like giving me anxiety. Oh my God.
So what? Something nice?
What is the note? You have the notes, Caleb.
The note is friends you have now.
Friends you have now. Oh, what I mean is like... No.
I have,
What did we mean by that? We wrote these together.
Yeah, we did.
I swear to God, this podcast hasn't even started.
I just turned on night shift instead of do not disturb. Okay, hold on.
What do I mean by friends you have now?
Just like
Like maybe like your circle. Like
yeah.
Like what? How do you define your like friendship circle?
I have 2 friends. I have Haley and Allison, and that's about it.
It's not true. Caleb asked me like one time, he was like talking about like who he would invite to his wedding, and he was like, "Do I have any real friends? Who's my friend?" I feel like you ask me that all the time, but you have a lot of friends. Like you're a very social person. I just think that you feel like everything is surface level.
I just feel like
maybe
I'm not
you
really.
maybe you were surface level.
Oh God.
Maybe everyone else is your friend, but you're not theirs.
No. No. Oh, that's some twisted shit. So friends you have now.
Okay, I love my friends. I have you and Karen and Allison, but then I also have all my friends from home. I have a lot of friends in LA too. But I obviously with the pandemic, like it's hard to like hang out with people, and like there were kind of like already new friends, but I don't know. But my friends from home I've had forever. I've had the same like 5 friends from home since high school.
I think that's very common within our group. We all have very old friends.
Yeah.
And I feel like it took us a while to start making new friends out here, which I think we'll get to later. But I guess, how would you define friendship?
To me in particular, I feel like because I don't know, I'm just such a ride or die type of bitch. And so like if I consider you my friend, like I feel like I would do the most. Like I do the most, and I don't like expect that in return, but I tend to flock to people who are also ride or die.
Yeah.
So friendship,
you're a Cancer.
So friendship to me is just ride or die.
So you're making a commitment for your life.
This is a commitment. This is a long-term thing, and like especially like with our friends being back home and stuff, like I like the type of friends who like I don't have to, not that I can't, but like I don't need to like check in on them every single day. Like I can go a few days without talking to them, or like even sometimes like a month or something if like things are crazy, and then like I talk to them and it's like no time has passed.
That's what I love. My favorite friends are the ones that you can actually not talk to for a while and it not feel weird when you do.
Yeah.
But I also feel like the best friends are the friends that you can grow with and change with.
Yeah.
And I think that's how those relationships continue to prosper and flourish, is because you are constantly going on the journey of life together and not like staying in the same place. And I think that's why people drift apart too, is because in life there are so many different paths to take, so it's only natural to drift apart.
Right. And so then when you find those friends that you take like the life path with you, it becomes that more like solidified that you're just like life partners.
Like, oh, exactly. Exactly. Oh, you're here too.
You're here to stay. Got it. All right. We're in this together. Yeah. I think definitely as you get older, like I don't know if it's very common to have as many friends like from high school or like college. I made a lot of my friends in college as well. I don't know how common it is to have friends that old, especially when you live across the country. But, yeah, I feel like that's like a big thing. I don't even know what I'm trying to fucking say.
I mean, I think
I like literally have no idea. That's it. That's
the thought. That's the thought. I mean, we're still also so young, so I don't.
I know, but I feel old.
That's true.
I feel so old.
I think a lot of people have
especially
college friends,
whenever
though.
like you have the same friends for like 10 years.
You made so many friends in college, and I feel like I made one friend in college who I also went to high school with, so that really doesn't count.
I know. I made a Margot.
You made a Margot. What a special thing to make. You made that.
I made that. She came from me.
She did come from you. You swept her up. And you said, Margot.
I said, she's mine.
You said, get off the floor. Get out of the toilet.
That was Mally, who's also my oldest friend ever. And actually, Mally and Margot met first, and then Mally introduced me. Actually, made all my friends through Mally.
Do you know... The only thing I can think of when I think of Mally is Pita Pit.
Oh my gosh. Because every single time she would order Pita Pit and then pass out drunk or go throw up. And then you would eat it.
Including, I would eat mine and then I would eat hers.
Oh my God, that's so disgusting.
Okay, so for people who don't know, where did we meet?
Me and you?
Yeah.
We met in high school in show choir. And I was the first alto, he was the first tenor, and we sat right next to each other.
I think I was a second tenor at that time.
No, you're first tenor.
I was?
Because the first tenors were on the first row, and we literally sat right next to each other.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I started as like a baritone and then second tenor, and then I got moved up to first tenor when there was nobody else.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I specifically remember this one time, like, we were like you were friends with Alyssa, and who was my friend, but so
who was my ex-girlfriend.
Right, but at the time she was we became like best friends during that time, like my freshman year, and so that's kind of like how I got to be close to you. But I specifically remember this one time we were standing and we were singing, and all of a sudden I looked over and you had fallen down. We weren't doing anything. We were doing anything but standing there and singing, and I swear to God, you slipped and you fell on your ass. I was like, I like him. Like, that's funny.
I hate myself. That also happened to me in my third grade recital. I was standing on the risers, and we were just singing, and it was televised on Channel 9.
Not Channel 9.
And I went down for a solo and just went...
Oh my God. That's so funny. So yeah, we bonded over singing and dancing.
We did. Now, a good segue from this is friends that you have in high school that you kind of keep for a while. Do you feel like the obligation to stay friends with them? Why I just broke the clip.
Why aren't you, like, you're just asking, you're just talking.
I'm like interviewing you.
You're talking at me.
I am talking at you. Personally, I've struggled a lot with obligation because I feel so guilty when I don't keep in contact or when I don't like stay friends with people because I don't want them to think I think I'm too good for them or that I just don't want to talk to them anymore. I don't know why I'm doing that. But it's weird because a lot of the friends I have that I've stayed friends with, I really do love. And they are some of my best friends. But it is interesting, that feeling of obligation. I think also the position that we're in is different too, because then there's an element of like, oh, you're too good for us. Like, you don't want to be our friend anymore. So do you? I don't know.
I don't really I understand what I feel like for me, like, all of my friends, especially back home, are like kind of on a different life path than me. Like, oh, like super excited to get married and like have kids, and I'm over here like I'm just in my little apartment.
New hall.
So I think in that sense, it becomes like, yeah, like I still like love you and I'm still ride or die for you. But it's interesting to see how friendship plays out when you have like two different life paths, but you still love each other so much. And like whenever I go home, it's always like a great time or whatever. But it is really interesting to like see how priorities in your own life affect friendships outside of your life. But that being said, I don't think that's like a bad thing. I think it's amazing because I get to like watch these milestones. Like my best friend just announced she was pregnant today. And I'm so excited because I'm going to be an aunt and I don't have any siblings. So this is my only chance and I'm going to grasp at my aunt role. So
that child is going to be yours.
Take that child for my own.
She is your new Margot.
But it's things like that. Like, I'm like, whoa, my best friend is pregnant. Like, I am nowhere near that.
Yeah, such
like realm of life. But But I think it's interesting because then, like, I get to live, like, 2 lives in one.
Mm-hmm. And those, again, the friends that you can go home with, and it can be, like, nothing changed.
Yeah.
But you're still on different paths, but you're still, like, in the same, like, mindset.
Yeah. I think it's, yeah, I love going home and just, like, being just, like, okay, like, grounded. It sounds so stupid because, like, but, like, living in LA, it does get a little, like, isolating, and it does get a little overwhelming. So, like, when I go home and I have that time to, like, ground myself with people who really know me, not like you and Cameron and Allison don't, but, like, still.
Yeah.
Like, who really know me, and, like, it's so refreshing.
Yeah.
I think, which is so weird because I would never think that going back home to Indiana would be refreshing.
Mm-hmm. And I think that, too, we both have had, like, tumultuous relationships with family. And we really, all our friends were our family for a while.
100%. Like, I used to live with my best friend. Like, I lived with her for, like, years.
So it's like that sense of, like, home that you get when you're with them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, friends, I feel like definitely I take them as my own, and they are mine, and they are, like, my family. And I feel like they feel the same way about me, too, because I kind of, like, once again, like, if I'm your friend, like, I make it very clear, like, I'm ride or die. And, you know what, so are you.
I think it's been really moving across the country. It hasn't felt, for me personally, that different than, like, being at college 2 hours away. It's like, if you're going to make the effort, you're going to make the effort. And it's probably going to be around special events or certain times. And that has worked out okay. But I just feel like social media has made it so much easier.
Yeah, and, like,
to stay
FaceTime and stuff.
in contact, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like there's that much pressure, like, to stay in touch because you're always really in touch.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like as much of an asshole. Not like writing them a card or something because you're always, like, seeing each other's posts and things like that.
For sure.
I feel like I have always thought of myself as having, like, very few friends. I feel like I have a lot of friends, but for me personally, I keep, like, who I truly love and care about very small.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I don't know. I think there's something so special about people who really know you, like, all of you. And I let, like, a certain group of people, I feel like, kind of see all of me. And I don't like to give that to kind of everybody else, but I do enjoy having, like, a big circle of friends. But at the end of the day, I think that I have, like, 5 I could count on my hand that are, like, really my friends.
That. No, I get that. I think also, too, in LA, it's interesting because I feel like a lot of people here, especially in the influencer world, they have so many friends. And I actually was listening to the Pretty Basic podcast, Alicia and Remy's podcast of the day, and they're talking about if they don't have, like, friends from home that they, like, still keep in touch with, red flag.
That's right. Because that means everyone else has cut them off.
Right. They're like, if they live here and they're from somewhere else and they don't keep in touch, they don't have any friends from home that they give a shit about, no.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, that's weird.
Is scary.
What a good, like, red flag.
I know. Coming from, especially from 2 huge influencers. You know what I mean? And I mean, they're down ass bitches. So, like,
God, I love them so much.
I love them so much. But, like, definitely is, like, a thing, especially here in LA. Like, there's some fake ass people here. I mean, thankfully, we don't really come in contact with a lot of people. But I hear some crazy ass stories about friends and, like, roommate situations and, like, things like that. And so I think as many signs as you can, you know, gather to find red flags in friends is great.
Well, it's hard because when you're friends with someone, it's like you want to see the best in them and you want to move through things. And at least, like, my personality is, it must be me. I must have done something wrong. And it's really hard for me to, like, to cut someone out or to be like, no, like, you've used too many chances.
Yeah.
And I don't know if a lot of people go through that, but I think especially when you're really close friends with someone, you almost put on blinders. And it's really hard for you to be like, no, this is not a good situation.
100%. Because actually, I guess we can just talk about toxic friends.
I thought that was a perfect segue. Yeah. I was like, go, girl.
What was I going to say? Oh, no, it was so good. Oh, someone asked me in my DMs the other day, like, something about toxic friends, and I was telling them, I was like, the thing about toxic friends is that like it never starts off that way. Like you would never like usually like you don't make a toxic friend. It just slowly turns into a toxic situation, and it's like a slow like day by day thing, and then you wake up and you like don't even recognize this person. But like all you want to do is like remember all those good times you had, all the time and energy that you put into that friendship.
Yeah.
And that's all that you're thinking about. It's like the past situations and how the past was great. And so you're like, I can't break up with this friend. Like they know it. They know everything about me. Like now it's like a relationship, literally worse than a relationship. So.
Yeah, it's just, it's so difficult. And also I think that it's important to listen to other people too, maybe who have had experiences. Because I've had experiences before where I've been friends with someone and people around me who I care about have been like, no, like something's not right. And I'm like, no, it's fine. Everything is great. Like
I can think of a few.
And I just love giving people the benefit of the doubt. And
You love that.
I don't. And I think it's really hard. And I think I've stayed in friendships longer than I should have because I just don't want to let it go. But I think that there are certain signs that pop up when a friend starts to become toxic. And I think the first sign is that you are walking on eggshells around them.
Yeah.
If you like feel uncomfortable or you're like constantly mincing your words around them or worrying about offending them or upsetting them, that's probably a toxic friendship.
Yeah.
Because
you shouldn't especially like when they're like your best friend. You know what I mean? Like that's tough because then you just slowly just do it, and not even think about it. And then you slowly realize that like, oh, I'm not like being myself.
Just to like keep the peace, because then you do have fun times, but only when they're happy.
Right. Ooh. Right.
If you like find yourself constantly like, what's the word? When you're like pushing your emotions aside to make someone else.
Repressing?
I guess if you're kind of like constantly repressing your feelings or desires and your main focus is to keep someone in a good mood, then like red flag.
Red flag.
Red flag.
That's red flag number 3.
And if you are giving more than you're getting, I would say that also gets complicated because I've been in a situation where a friend has been upset with me, and like that was a relationship that I no longer have because they were putting in a lot of effort that I didn't really ask for. But it's kind of like when someone wants to be your friend, but they want to be your best friend.
Yeah, they have to be your best friend or nothing at all.
Exactly. And that's when it can also get toxic because they're trying to be such a good friend.
I can't imagine like feeling like I have to be best friends with someone. That's a weird feeling.
Like, oh, they really love me. They really want to be my best friend. And then, I mean, I've been in that situation where it's like I have people who I love who are close to me, and I meet someone new who wants to be my number one on my top 8. Yeah! And it's really hard because you don't want to like be an ass, and like you can love that person and want to be their friend, but it's just really, if you ever feel like you're being manipulated or kind of forced into acting a certain way or being a certain way around someone, that's not, I would say, normal. Yeah.
And that goes with like a lot of situations. Like it could be like once again, like what I was listening, this is just pretty basic, refurbished.
Regurgitated.
They were talking about like how some people, especially here in LA, like if you don't dress a certain way, if you don't have certain friends, if like you feel like you have to be something you're not in order to have someone like you or even like the bare minimum like respect you, like that's not it. Like if you are around someone and you constantly feel less than them because like you're not exactly like them, like that's not like a friend worth having.
No, that is a what's her name? Oh my gosh, the lead character of Mean Girls, or
wait, what? Regina George?
Regina George. That's Regina George.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling for sure.
Yeah.
How do you feel about cutting people out of your life? Because for like me, that's the last straw.
I mean, yeah, I haven't, thankfully for me.
Have you had to cut anyone out? Oh.
I feel really blessed in the sense where I haven't had too many toxic relationships to that extent. I mean, obviously it's happened, but I feel like more so for me, like the friends that I don't have now, it's not because I don't love or care about them. Most of the time you just drift apart. And I think that's perfectly okay. Like I have had many best friends like throughout my life, and like some last longer than others, and that's just how it goes.
That's just how it goes.
Have you ever had to cut people off?
You know what? I've actually ran into people. I ran into both sides. I ran into people cutting me off first.
Oh yeah.
Actually, no, I cut them off. You know what? I've just been on both sides. I'm verse. I've been in a situation where I was cut off by someone who I had met right after a breakup, and I had obviously been cut off from that person, so I was already feeling like an awful person.
Yeah.
Just wanting to redeem myself and show someone that I'm worthy of love. And so then I met a friend who kind of took the place, I feel like, of my ex. And where I felt like I had somebody and they cared about me and we were interested in the same things. And so we had a really close friendship, and it was a girl. And I kind of started the fitness marshal as we were being like very, very close. So she was a big part of it. But I think that
hold on, in my mind, all I want to do is like comment and be like, she's watching this, like, and it's like the eye emoji with like with the lips. Sorry, go ahead. It's so funny.
And it was a situation where I think that I had friends in my life that are already very important to me, and I think that we just weren't on the same page about what we meant to each other. And it was a lot more serious, I think, for her than it was for me. Although she was one of my very closest friends, it kind of felt like I was getting to the point where I was walking on eggshells or just worried about making her happy.
Yeah.
And I eventually, when I met Cameron, things kind of fizzled out, and other things happened too within the fitness marshal and whatnot. But I was cut out because I basically wasn't reciprocating the energy that this person was putting into me.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of a mind trip, because I was like, wait, well, I'm the toxic friend because I'm not being as good of a friend to you as you. It was just,
yeah.
It's weird when you want different things out of a friendship.
Yeah. And this is an interesting situation because I didn't know this girl that well.
And this girl also really didn't like any of my
right. Okay, so I didn't really know this girl. I didn't like the vibe. I talked to your sister about it. She didn't like the vibe. And we had collectively, I feel like, told you that we didn't like the vibe.
Yeah.
And you just like went on anyway. You're like, no. And so that brings me to one of my poll questions. If someone warns you about a friend, do you take their word for it or do you find out for yourself? And only 14% of y'all said take their word. And 86% of y'all said find out yourself. And I understand that. You want to give people the benefit of the doubt. You don't want to just like go off of what everyone else says because they didn't do anything personal to you yet. But it's like, could have saved yourself a little bit of a headache if you would just like listen, especially to people that you trust, not just like a random like Jane off the street. Like, I don't like her. You know what I mean? So I find that interesting because I feel like, especially on the outside looking in, if like one of your closest friends or like your family is like, I'm not vibing. I feel like I understand the immediate like, no, like this is my friend. Like she's so nice and she's so helpful and she's such a good friend to me, and she apparently really was a good friend to you. But yeah, I find that interesting because I feel like if someone were to warn me about someone, I'd be like,
I feel like everyone is different with different people.
Yeah.
So it's like you can be your best self with someone and someone else can bring out the worst in you. So I don't know. I would do it again.
Yeah, you learned a lesson.
What?
You would do it again.
Yeah.
You learned a lesson. from it.
As in, like, I would do the same thing again?
Wait, what are you saying?
I would still, like, give someone the benefit of the doubt.
I know,
time.
but you learned a lesson from it.
Oh,
which
I
is,
did.
Okay.
Yeah.
God.
I was like, no, I'd be your friend again.
Okay, so another poll question I asked is, do you cut off your toxic friends completely, or do you slowly distance yourself?
I slowly distance myself, for sure. What did they say? Or what did you say? What do you think?
I really haven't had many situations like this, so this is all very interesting. I've had like maybe 2.
Wow.
But I feel like most of the time it's like some kind of mesh
Yeah.
of like slowly like backing away, and before I can like dissipate into the abyss, like I cut you off right as you like see me disappearing.
That's
You know what I
good.
mean?
Yeah.
That's
good. That's good.
Okay, 47% of you guys said cut off, and 53% of you guys said slowly distance. So half
split,
and half,
okay.
which once again we can introduce the meshing system of both.
Right. We've got a hybrid model.
My next question was, if you had the chance to reconcile with your toxic friend, would you? And I'm just like, you.
If they,
Here's the thing: is like they were toxic for a reason. I'm sure you guys have probably talked it out around in circles. Like nothing's probably changed.
there's a difference between, I think it's so important to be able to make up with people or like reconcile with people, but if it's entered the toxic territory, I think that's when it's like, you don't need to go back there.
Right? You can be like. There's a difference between, like, I feel like having hatred for someone, like, illing and toxic, or, like, just knowing that this is what's best for everyone, and, like, you don't have to hate them, you don't have to hate each other, you can love each other from a distance, but just knowing that that's okay to love them from a distance. You don't need them in your life to love them from a distance.
And it doesn't mean that person is a bad person.
Right.
Or, like, incapable of being a good friend to somebody else. It's just like, whatever it is between you two, it's not something you can work out. And I think there are always two sides to every story, and everyone has their own truth, their own lens that they view the world from. And so sometimes they just don't align, and that's okay. But if it's toxic, it's toxic, and you shouldn't try to poison yourself.
Really? You really thought you did something there? Okay, 18% of y'all said yes, that you would reconcile, but 82% of y'all said no. So good for you guys.
Yeah, they're like, no, we've been around this too many times.
Yeah. Okay, I also asked, what's harder, a friend breakup or a relationship breakup? Caleb?
I mean, I can only speak from personal experience, and it's been a relationship breakup.
Interesting. I would say a friend breakup. Mm-hmm. Because relationships, you always, like, you're like, I'm not saying you go into it knowing it's going to end. Yeah. But I'm just like, shit happens.
People have, I feel like, more relationships than they have, like, strong friendships.
Right, like, when you have, like friendships, when you think about friendships, you have to think about, like, how long you've had these friendships, like, 15, like, years, 20 years, you know what I mean? And so that'd be hard to, like, one day, like, have to break up with a friend you've had for 15 years. That, like, you go to when your relationship is crumbling.
I feel like the difference, though, with friend breakups is usually friends, like, you gradually grow apart, and breakups are like, oh, today's the day we're not together anymore.
Today is the day.
And it's really hard to untangle as opposed to, like, a friend.
Yeah.
But what did they say?
70% of y'all said friend breakup is harder.
Wow.
Which I concur.
That makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God.
What?
I was just thinking about my breakup with Allison.
Oh my God.
That was sad.
That'd be a good podcast. That wouldn't be a good podcast.
We could just lay it
like
out.
Hash it out. There's really nothing to hash out now. I feel like we've already... I feel like the first time that we ever, like, you, Allison, and I traveled together in Cameron, she had the deep eddies, and we hashed it out.
We did.
But, like, not in, like, a mean way. Like, we just, like, laid it out on the table.
I don't even really remember that conversation.
That's
just so
probably...
things.
No, I think we were just sloshed. But whatever happened was good.
It was good.
We woke up feeling good.
It's just funny because I feel like in like a podcast and a vlog, I've been like, this is what happened with Allison. But no one really knows. And I think that's so interesting. And I don't know if anyone ever can know.
T. Okay, so I asked you guys. This is your chance to shine. Okay, I love these little chances for you guys to shine. I haven't gone through these yet, so just give me a second. But I asked you guys advice for people getting out of a toxic relationship. And someone said, talk about it once, and if nothing changes at all, take that as a permission to distance yourself.
Oh. Wow, that person does not give second chances.
No. I get that. Give it time, and you will realize when you remove negative energy, life gets better.
I feel that.
Mm-hmm. You have to work on your self-esteem so that you feel worthy of leaving.
Oh.
You guys, like, literally, like, be my life coach.
Oh, my gosh. That just hit me hard. That hit me right in my fucking sunshine.
Yeah. Ooh, this. Sorry, this just hit me hard. Just cut them off. Being alone is better than being lonely.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
That's good.
That's
so good.
Too good. I'm still reading.
Oh my
They love this.
There are so many. We could do that could be the whole episode.
I'm just reading these.
Reading them.
Okay, this is a positive one. Mourn the friendship, which I think is like great. Like you need to like have that time to like go through it, because it is in a lot of ways harder than like a relationship. And think about how hard a relationship is. Mourn the friendship and have gratitude for the good aspects and lessons learned.
Yeah.
That's, I feel like the biggest thing, because the people who aren't in my life anymore, I've learned some valuable lessons.
Yes. But I think it's also, it is important because everyone's going to have relationships that don't work out in some way. And so the best thing you can do is, again, take those lessons and the positives, because what you don't want to do is end up having regret or anger or resentment, and then you carry that with you, and it can last, I swear to you, for the rest of your life.
And it can infiltrate in all the rest of your relationships and friendships.
Exactly. And you can feel angry, unworthy, like everyone's out to get you because this one person hurt you. It's like, if you never learn to like move on or forgive whatever happened.
Forgiveness is a big thing.
It's so powerful. And I was talking to just someone close to me.
Who?
My mom.
Oh.
Who has like her and my dad have been divorced. I don't think she'll care if I say this. Her and my dad have been divorced for like the better part of the decade. And every time I talk to her, it's like it just happened to her.
Yeah.
And she's just as angry, just as hurt and upset. And it's just like, it's really scary. And not to invalidate her feelings or what happened, but no matter what happens to you, you can't allow someone else to have power over the way that you feel the rest of your life or control your self-worth or your other relationships, because that's when you cut someone off, your power is that you don't have to let them do that anymore. They don't have to own you or control your thoughts. So like, don't cut someone off. The worst thing you can do is cut someone off and still let them control you.
Right, 100%.
Then like, just go be with them again. Like if you're ready to cut them off,
if you're feeling the same, like that was the whole point of cutting them out, is to not feel that way anymore.
Yeah.
Another thing I think is like when you do cut someone off, or like you do break up with a friend, or like you have a big falling out, is to let yourself in those like moments and like however long it takes you to actually feel that like pain and like maybe a bit of resentment and like all the feelings that come with like cutting someone off, like let yourself feel that in the moment, so then you're not feeling it for the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because if you're like, no, it's fine, it's fine, like you're just it's gonna keep building if you don't acknowledge the pain that you actually feel from losing that person.
I think that goes with so many different aspects of life. I mean, even with like sadness or anxiety or friends, just like allowing yourself in general to feel feelings as they come.
Yeah.
It's so much better because then you're not running from those feelings. And
Yeah.
running from feelings are a lot scarier than just facing them, because then you're running from them and you don't even see them, so you just imagine them to be worse than they even are.
Yeah. Nice picture you're painting.
I just saw it in my mind.
I
saw the big monster.
I love the imagery. Another thing, actually, real quick, I want to say is that for me, and I'm only saying this because I feel like someone else probably feels the same way. I'm definitely someone who goes out of my way to like make someone comfortable. And I don't see that as a bad thing for myself. I actually like that about myself, and I don't like want to change that. I think it's just like a part of my personality and who I am. And so when I feel like and a few like past relationships, friendships, I felt like I was like doing everything to make this person comfortable all the time, or these people. And it became a point where like my energy was just like constantly drained. I was always worried about like, oh, are they like okay? Like I feel like I had to take care of this person, and I enjoy taking care of people, but that's why I think that's why it's hard for someone like me to spot someone who's like taking advantage of that.
Because you're used to being like the caretaker.
Yeah, like, and I enjoy that role. Like I embrace that role, but like only to a certain extent. And I think that with that like relationship with that person, I was able to find that boundary for myself, if anything. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, and when you were in it,
yeah, like I was like, okay, this is it. That's as much as I can take, you know.
But you also are someone who, in that situation, you gave more chances than I thought you should have.
Amen. I'm like, here you go. Because I think at that time already, I had already assumed the role, like, I am the one who has to fix this. Mm-hmm. I'm the one who has to take care of the situation.
Yeah, I think just to sum it up, losing friends is really, really hard, and it's really messy, and it can, again, be messier than a relationship, because it's not like, oh, you cheated on me or something. It's just like, oh, you've like manipulated me and gaslit me and kind of messed with my psyche for so long that I am losing who I even am and what I even want, because I'm so worried about not setting off the volcano.
Right.
And it's just really sad. But again, all of the people that I've lost, I don't hate any of them. I think of even friends. Like, I did have a toxic friend. I've had, I would say, less than 3 toxic friends. But there's a toxic friend who I even have like reconciled with and like, or made up with, or even, actually, I think almost all of them. Mm-hmm. But we keep a distance, and it's a healthy distance, but we don't have to.
We check in on each other every once in a while, or like whatever.
But there's like an understood, like, we are not what we were, but we can still appreciate the lessons that we've learned from each other. Yeah. And I think that's like the best place to get to.
Because through relationships and friendships, you learn about yourself. Like you would never know about yourself when you just sit in a dark room alone. Mm-hmm. Like you have to like have trial and error with other people, as hard as it is, to find out more about yourself. And that's just the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
That's good. Okay, recommendations for the week. I have a good one.
I wrote down my intention and my recommendation.
Oh my God. Go ahead.
So
he's ready.
My intention this week is to proofread.
No, I didn't ask about your intention. I asked you about your recommendation.
My recommendation this week, is Will and Grace, the new series, because it's something that I loved when I was younger. Mm-hmm. And it was on until 2006, and then went off the air for good. And if you don't know Will and Grace, it was like the first show that represented like LGBTQ characters,
and like a normal, like having normal,
painted them in a good light.
Yeah.
And it was also the first show that I think had a gay lead, which was wild. And so when that show, and it was also just one of the funniest shows on television. The dynamic was incredible. And so when it ended, everyone was really sad. And then around the time Trump got elected, with all the like the political everything going on, they did like a test pilot, and it came back. because the test pilot was received so well, just like on Facebook. And so they did like 50 more episodes through like 2020, and I just finished it last night, and I was literally like crying because it was God. It just is one of those shows. It's not like the plot is extremely intense. You don't have to like focus.
Nostalgic, and
it's just like it's like Schitt's Creek almost. It's just like you can enjoy the show. There's funny jokes. You're gonna laugh and smile. And it
I
just
also
makes
feel like
you
Will and Grace. I've only seen a few episodes, but it was always like smart comedy.
Yeah,
which I enjoy very much. So
I just feel like it's perfected now. So if you have time, I would suggest the new series or the new season of Will and Grace on Hulu.
I also have like a lighthearted recommendation. Can you believe it?
Whoa, not Immigration Nation?
Well, I do recommend the DNC.
I didn't see that yet.
Well, I gave you everything you need to know. I wrote it all down for you.
You are my Philip DeFranco. Haley texted me, by the way, and said that she was taking a break from politics. And I swear to you, not like an hour later, she was posting stories like fighting with people. So
I wasn't fighting. I was just stating. I started Selena Gomez's new show on HBO, her cooking show, and I really, really love it. I think it's so fun. I love Selena Gomez. I hate when people are like, oh, Selena Gomez, fuck you. I love Selena Gomez. And the show is so good. She has some real ass chefs on there. They're cooking some hard ass shit, and respect.
Is it? And it is lighthearted. It's not like here's some like ice pops. And speaking of ice, abolish them. That's your cooking show. That's you.
No, it's not like that. It's really hearted, and it's hard. Like, she's having a hard time. Like, it's funny, and she gets frustrated.
Because she's not like a chef.
No, she loves cooking, and she's like, I don't know how to cook. And I think it's funny to see Selena Gomez like get mad.
That's like just something nice to watch.
It's really nice. Like, I really enjoy it.
Do you have an intention for this week?
My intention for this week, and it's very simple, and it is to stop being so cynical. Just think some positive thoughts. Like, write down a positive thought a day. That's good. That
is good. No, that is good. I just feel like maybe you need like more of a detox. I think you might need to just like take a break.
I think 70 days to the election is not the time to take a break.
You're right.
I'm on the campaign trail.
You are on the campaign trail.
What's your intention, Kebab?
My intention this week is to proofread my text messages and my...
You've been really bad. Whenever you do text me back, it's always like, I'm always like, have to send at least 3 more messages to clarify what you said.
It's been every comment. The other day I posted on iWoo's page about them firing a gay employee.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is absolutely wrong. I am so furious about this. And I went back like 3 hours later, and I was like, you look so stupid. And then
with a check mark beside your fucking name.
And then all of my tweets that day were messed up, and then I would go and fix them and retweet them. The worst thing is when you tweet something, it's wrong, delete it, tweet it again, and there's a new spelling mistake, which constantly happens. So I'm really, really trying to just proofread before I send.
Oh, that's very... How is that? How are you going to down me for mine? And then yours is... I'm going to proofread my text.
Because mine is something I can tangibly do and I can improve upon. I can't even speak approve upon.
Oh my God.
Coffee with my ex.
The way that you like bob your head.
Coffee.